Hello from a very chilly, snowy Indiana. As always, this is unscripted, but I know the nature of the video, what I want to cover. Hopefully briefly. I always say it's going to be brief, and sometimes it ends up being a little bit longer. But many of you know that there is a full moon tomorrow. Tomorrow going into Sunday, I believe. Full moon in Leo. But at the same time, Mercury has been in retrograde. Brrr, boom. Okay, and so a lot of my friends, a lot of people on their path, a lot of people who pay attention to astrology, a lot of people who don't pay attention to astrology but are paying attention to their path and the lessons that are coming up for them. A lot of them know that Mercury, when it goes into retrograde, it is an interesting time. You know, of course, you hear all the common things that happen, like technology failures. You know, your devices may act weird, your car may act up. There's a lot of communication problems. There's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstandings amongst your lover, your friend, your boss, just with anybody in general. This won't happen with everyone, but it can happen, and it does happen to quite a lot of people. You know, you hear about maybe you shouldn't sign contracts during Mercury in retrograde, and that, you know, tread lightly and just pay attention. Just on the spiritual level, though, when Mercury goes in retrograde, this is a time where people from your past will resurface and come back around. They may get into contact with you. You may end up bumping into them. Also, there are issues that may bubble to the surface that you thought perhaps you had done away with, that you resolved, that you healed. Whatever it is, Mercury, when it goes into retrograde, this is a time where things from the past come back for resolution, to make amends, to forgive, to find peace, and to just bring, peace back into the relationship. Doesn't necessarily mean that you and this person will be friends. It doesn't mean that you two will walk with one another in a friendship, a partnership, whatever the situation may be, whatever the nature of the relationship was before. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go back to that, although that can happen, and that's perfectly fine. But when Mercury goes in retrograde, it is a time to reflect and make those amends. It is time to reflect on yourself and your part in that situation, your part in that conflict, whatever it was, okay? That's just in general, okay? In general. But this time is really juicy. Like, really, really juicy. And the best way I can explain this to you is just to do it from personal experience. And I truly believe that all of us who are on our path and trying to connect with others and willing to help others, that, you know, it's important to share what's going on, because it can help someone out there. It can help someone who really thinks that they are alone. And maybe they don't know what to do, or maybe they need reassurance. You know, even light workers, like there are times when we really just sometimes hit this wall. We wonder, wow, we're going through this again. Sometimes that happens, but so for me, I shared in previous videos, I think it was the New Year's Eve video, and also I spoke about past lives and the importance of remembering past lives, traumas from these past lives, and how they affect the lifetime now that you are experiencing in this moment. And I also spoke in another video about the activation of twin flames. And so for me, I have been recalling past lives, and like I told you, there are some that were really uncomfortable. And matter of fact, there's just one that there is a trauma from a certain lifetime that is very painful, very uncomfortable. And I realized that this trauma and certain individuals in that lifetime are around in this lifetime, and one particular person was involved in yet a trauma that occurred in this lifetime. So the person from the past life, what this person did to me, yet again, did not learn their lesson, and did once again in this lifetime. Maybe not the exact same offense, but all in all, this person just did not learn their lesson, and it was once again traumatic. And so I have been going through integration process of integrating my soul. When we have traumatic experiences, the soul can become fragmented. And so for me, I've been working on integration, along with integration of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within me. So I'm going through all this integration process, and man, with that Mercury in retrograde, like for me, it is really highlighting on the trauma of past lives. And I decided, since I'm feeling all this stuff come up, and there's just different things happening, and things that people, even one person that they're doing, that really just triggered the pain deep down there, and this wound, this trauma in this lifetime, which is from my childhood. So it's something very, very deep that really, needs to be, looked at and brought to the light, and with love. And there's a lot of work and transmuting and really coming and facing it with love and bringing it to the light. Forgiveness happening. It's beautiful. It's uncomfortable, but that's what happens when you're going through the healing process. It can be uncomfortable, but growth and when you illuminate shadows, it at first can be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable for the person that I have to address. I have to address the person who has wronged me yet again in this lifetime. And I am working my way up to that, building the courage to address this person, but in love, complete love, with forgiveness and patience and understanding. And that is one of my assignments in this lifetime, to bring light to this person and touch this person's soul, and to bring forgiveness and let this person know that they can be forgiven, and that they deserve it, and that they are loved. Now let's add in the full moon. And if any of you know, maybe you don't know, full moons are usually about release. Women are really, really tied to the moon and their phases. And if a woman is really in tune, she will be so in tune with the phases and really can feel it. And for this, women, it's a time of like really nurturing and pampering herself and really just attending to her femininity. But all in all, full moons are for release. It's the completion. Full moon is it's come to the point where the moon is full, okay? And so it's a great time of releasing. So can you imagine a full moon focuses on release? And then you got Mercury in retrograde, which is highlighting all this stuff from your past, people coming up for you to either forgive or ask forgiveness. That's the other thing. You can't always think that this is about someone coming back up or situations popping up in your mind where you are asking for them to apologize. It could be you who has to make amends and ask for forgiveness, to say sorry. So keep that in mind. Remain humble and honest with yourself, therefore honest with the other, honest with others. So imagine all of this mixed together, the intensity, and so many people all over the planet going through this. Those who are paying attention, who are in tune and really, really attending to this. And then you have those that are not aware, so they're feeling all this stuff and they're becoming so irritated and aggravated and they're not dealing with it. They're just feeling and going through the motions, and then they're probably attacking others. They are irritable, causing arguments. You have the miscommunication, which is going on Mercury in retrograde. So you got all this stuff going on. So you have the people who are aware, and then you have the people who aren't aware. You could even have the people who are aware and who aren't attending to it, because sometimes we do forget, okay? But the beautiful thing is that this is all for healing. It's all to clear. That is the main thing you have to remember, is that you're going to feel all this, but don't stay there and wallow in it. This is for you to address it. Let go of the fear, because fear will keep you trapped. It'll keep you in the cycle of doing this all over again, okay? Have that courage, and it may be uncomfortable, but face it with love, and love for yourself, and therefore more compassion and understanding for others. This is a time to forgive and release, let go, transmute and release. Come to peace. Bring in the light, okay? Before I go, a great thing is that, at least for me, what I'm feeling with that Leo, oh my God, with the full moon in Leo, I am feeling it. I have been feeling this freaking urge, this push, like I'm being pushed, not in a mean way, a loving way. And the angels and my guides are just urging me, hey Trina, it's time. You have to focus now more on your projects. You need to focus more on your spiritual work, your spiritual mission. It's time. Okay, you've done all this stuff for other people, and now it's time to really focus on you and your work. Let's go. There's confirmation after confirmation, and people saying things to me, repeated numbers, all these messages, these gut feelings and situations occurring. It's wild and beautiful. So I can only imagine that this is happening for others out there, other starseeds, other light workers. You know who you are, and you know exactly what I mean if you are feeling this as well. It is time. This is a beautiful year, magical year, and there's a lot for us to attend to and focus on and get done and make magic happen, because life is magic, and that's what we're here to do. To really raise the vibration on this planet, and to really help those with their evolutionary process, and just bring it in. Bring in the love, bring in the high vibration. 5th dimension living on this planet. This planet, 3D planet. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy to be human, but it's awesome at the same time. Okay. So, I hope this helped someone, at least one person. I really do, by sharing my experience and my story. And I know you're going to get through this. There's so many out there that are supporting you, even if you don't know. We pray for you. We go into meditation, and we send so much good energy and vibration out there to really help heal the collective. And we just want you to know that you are loved. That love is always with you. And my wish for you today is for you to always know that you can have that inner peace and that you feel the presence of the divine within your life, within you, and around you. Now, be in peace. May the light always guide you. Have a good night. Namaste.